Well, with temperatures finally heating up, we are asking questions to make sure that you stay safe this summer while in the pool. After a chilly start to summer, 80-degree temperatures are in the Storm Team 2 7-day forecast. And joining me now is Premier Health APRN, Sara Wilson-Rector. Thanks so much, Sara, for joining us this afternoon. As summer heat returns, I should say, many people will be reopening their pools. So what are the most common injuries that come along with swimming?
So obviously, I think probably the most obvious one usually is concerns for like drowning, but there's other things as well, even just like falls could result in things like sprains or breaks, especially I would say sometimes the kiddos that are maybe like running around the pool and they shouldn't be. The other big one would be like diving incidents and diving injuries. Especially like if you're doing any sort of diving in a body of water that maybe you can't see fully to the bottom of the surface, so you're not fully understanding what the depth is there. So those are a lot of the big things usually that we're kind of trying to educate folks on about being smart about both like pool and open water safety when choosing to swim.
So, Sara, what recommendations would you normally give to parents or anyone who's in charge of watching kids at a pool?
Sure. So, I mean, I think the big things is obviously remembering that, your child needs to be able to swim. They usually say at least about 25 yards independently to kind of be in that pool without a flotation device. I would say that maybe even a little further than that. But even those kids should not be left unattended, not being supervised. Remembering too things like how many kids are you truly watching per adult? One adult can't necessarily supervise 10 or 15 children that don't know how to swim properly. Avoiding things like alcohol is obviously then that tends to make our senses not as heightened, so we may not be as aware. And then also even just like your basics of if you do have a pool, is there fencing around it to make it so that there's less likelihood for especially your small kiddos that they can't just run out and get to that open body of water without your knowledge.
Well, what's the first thing someone should do if they think they see someone drowning?
So obviously, I mean, the biggest thing is ensuring that the area is safe itself. Are you able to swim enough if you're thinking about trying to kind of help them? If there's a flotation device, you should really always have a flotation device around the pool. So something like one of the rings or even a long flotation that you could throw it in. Because unfortunately, if someone is drowning, ultimately they are going to latch on to you. And so we don't want to end up with two people in the same situation. Obviously, if you get them out of the water and you're concerned about their breathing, the first thing at that point is calling for help. And if you have someone nearby that knows CPR, initiating that.
Well, public pools are known to have a lot of people in them. Of course they are, but is there any risk of getting sick from being in the water with all those people?
So, yes, unfortunately, chlorine does not kill everything. Obviously, we would like to think that everything is treated, and your public pools are definitely going to be more regulated, but it cannot kill everything, including some of like your parasites. So the biggest thing is if you've been sick recently, especially something like a GI bug with diarrhea in the last 2 weeks, not entering that pool, really trying to keep your kids, your young kids especially, frequent bathroom breaks. If they're in diapers, checking the diaper, changing the diaper frequently, remembering to goggles and not letting your kiddos drinking the water. Sometimes I know they think it's fun to put it in their mouths, but that is how a lot of those parasites and other bacteria are put into our body that make us sick.
All right. Sara Wilson-Rector, APRN at Premier Health. We appreciate your time this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you.